Let him make this discovery on his own. I was expecting this confusion. This is fine. That's perfect.
Ooh. Ooh. Good cow. Ooh.
Now go away, call him off, and then go back.
Good boy, come on. Good. Try to go back to the
Yeah.
Good boy. Come on. Come on, baby.
There you go. He's learned a new trick how to get you there. Keep walking. Just keep walking. He's got to figure out now. He's got to get you back there. Now he's got to do his trick again. As long as it takes. There you go. Yeah, go on over and see if you can't this time. Just call him away. Go all the way to the gate almost. Go on far away. Just keep going. Now there you go. Call him back. There you go. Give him all right. Let him go. Let him go. Good boy.
Again?
Yeah. Good.
Good job, buddy. Oh.
Get down there. Give him a little tiny jackpot, pick him up and carry him away. Is that a baby fox? Good boy. Okay, that's it. Get
What
him
a
on that.
job, man. Good boy.
If you want to, while we're working with Karen, you can do that, or you can put him in one of those crates under the shade there. Close.
Come up here next to him, Cindy. Now this is good. Let's wait. I'm going to let him see that there's food in my hand. He's never going to be able to get this food in my hand. I'll start offering a few behaviors. You're cute. The clicker's confusing him a little bit. Go ahead and pet him. Just because I want him to get familiar with you touching him. Now, put your hand around his chest and put that little bit of opposition reflex in it. When you feel him straining hard to go back, now let him go. When he's focused on it like that, we'll let him go back. Okay, go ahead and take him away. Pull him all the way back.
When you say take him away, you want me to pick him up?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Just any way to get him back out of there. Okay. And you can go ahead and get in the habit of asking him to search. Okay. So pretty much from the very beginning, I'm going to reward him for actually touching his nose all the way down there on it. We're getting as close as his big blocky head will let him get his nose touched. His head's almost too big. There you go. Come up and pet him again. I want him to feel comfortable with you being around him and touching him, and learn to ignore everything else that's going on around him. So there we go. Now grab him by the chest and just kind of take him slowly, just pull him out a little bit, pull his nose out a little bit further, now let him go back in. Okay, go ahead and take him all the way back now. Now, like I said, pretty quickly, I want him to start learning that we're not searching for liver trees. So this time I'm going to purposely lure him up to the one that has food in it. Because he's not stuck his nose in that one yet. I'm curious to see if he'll commit to it. Okay, go ahead and let him go. And I'm going to kind of create a little bit of a, I'm going to lie to him a little. I'm going to kind of position myself behind the wrong tube.
Situation.
Hold the food here so he can smell it and learn that he's just not big enough to take it from me yet. He's almost cute enough to make me give in, but he's not quite. So the idea here, this is going to contradict a lot of your obedience training, but that's just the way it is. You know, I'm going to teach him to ignore all of this stuff. We're not searching for liver, and I think there's actually hot dogs in this tube, and we're not searching for that either. That smells pretty good too, huh? Guess again, dude. So it's good that he finally, he just left the food in my hand and said, okay, I guess I just can't get to that. Now, this is maybe a little bit overwhelming for him, like having 3 tubes here. It may be a little much in the very beginning. And I'm just going to, no matter what he does, I'm just going to ignore. Certainly not going to correct this behavior, but I'm not going to, I'm just going to remain unimpressed by it. Whatever he does is going to get no reaction out of me whatsoever. Unless he knocks me over. That's all right. And this is, you know, that's pretty cute. This is, you know, it's nothing more than self-discovery at this point. But if we are to take him and put him in the right place, he's not really figuring it out on his own.
He's not learning.
Yeah, and I would way rather have this take 5 minutes initially for him to say, now I will, if he just kind of lays down and kind of checks out on me and kind of gives up and starts to wait, I will create enough movement to get him back up and get him active again. Because this is what's going to create exploratory behavior. If he lays down and gives up, he's not going to be doing anything. So if he lays down, I'm going to restart him a little bit, just by moving my hand or something. I'm not going to just let him lay there until he's, you know, until I just get bored of watching.
Definitely food motivated.
Yeah, that's pretty good food. It makes me hungry smelling it as well.
Little liver and ramps wouldn't be bad.
No, it wouldn't be bad at all.
Yeah, I heard you getting up there a little bit. That's what I hear. Yeah. Yeah. You're catching up.
You're so close. Come up and interact with him again. Just kind of pat him, put your hand under his, like in front of his chest. Now, pull him back slightly. Just kind of pull his nose out of there. When he strains real hard, you can let him go back in. Or hard for him, you know, like, there you go. That's good. He's focused on it pretty well. He may, just being a golden, he's going to be a little more polite than the Malinois that we're typically used to dealing with. They have a tendency to be pretty stubborn. If I try to pull them in one direction, they fight like hell to go the other direction automatically. He's a little bit more compliant to your body posture or to your pressure. So he's not fighting quite so hard to resist what you're asking him to do. Okay, go ahead and take him all the way back. I'm not going to move it this time. I'm going to just set my hand up over here. Okay, you can go ahead and restart it again. See, it's just real important from the beginning that we teach him that this is not what the game is about. So I'll spend a lot of time teaching him to ignore, you know, ignore the food to get to the absolute.
Which is good.
So I spend a lot of time teaching him to ignore the food to get to the food. Go ahead and pull him back again.
Over there.
Yeah, over there. So this way we get a lot of repetitions in. We're loading our clicker at the same time, but we get, go ahead and restart. We get many, many times of him going back and coming back and learning that putting his nose in here is what it's about, and not the one that you know. Yeah, pretty quickly you can have food setting out for them. That board that's up there, we've actually got a clear plastic, like a Rubbermaid bowl, screwed to the board with a plastic cover on it and holes drilled in it, so they can, and we fill that full of food, so they learn from the beginning. They can see it and smell it and touch it, but they just can't ever get to it. They learn to ignore it. Okay, I only got 3 more pieces left here. Drop the piece in there. So when it gets kind of slimy like that, I will take one paper. I'm just going to take one and wipe my hands off here.
Yeah, we've kind of slimy.
And it's
But
not too
slimy
bad.
as hot dogs.
No, for sure not.
And mine
Those
would
pieces
be
are
like-
maybe a little bit small.
Go a little bigger, twice big.
Yeah, twice
Okay.
as big wouldn't be
Okay.
bad. So I'll take one paper towel and I'll wipe out any liver odor that may be in there, the odor of his slobbers. And I remember where that paper towel is. And I take another paper towel. Doesn't have human odor on it, or human remains odor on it. And I'll wipe paper towel odor in these other 2 tubes. The other thing that I'll do, because I do have slobber from his hand and that liver treat on my left hand, but there's no human remains odor on my left hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to rub the liver treat and his saliva all over these other 2 tubes. Again, just to because that we know smells like liver and his saliva anyway.
So now all of them do.
So that's the exactly. And if I'm using hot dogs, I may even take a small piece of a hot dog and rub it directly all over these other tubes. Again, just to reinforce that it's not about the odor of the hot dog or the treat. Whatever the treat may be. Okay, when you're starting. Just come up and kind of walk around, like drag your feet around here and pat him again. Okay, now put a little bit of back pressure on him, kind of drag his nose out there slowly. Okay, now back in. So we're just kind of trying to create a little bit of, stronger desire to go back to the odor. Just not getting that habit. Go ahead and hold all of that. Okay. See how fast he left my hand that time? And granted, he came back to it, but he very quickly went from my hand back to that tube. And he's certainly not staying with it as long as he was 3 minutes ago. So I'm looking, like I said, I'm looking for him to actually, I'm watching his nose, and I'm rewarding actual sniffing, either sniffing behavior or him actually touching his nose to the odor, or as close to the odor as he can get. I just don't want to reward him kind of camping out with his head stuck in the hole and not doing anything else active when he's in there. Okay, go ahead and pull him back.
All the way?
Yeah. Some of these are just way too small to use.
Yeah, liver tends to crumble.
Yeah. I don't even necessarily love the taste of liver, but I do like the way it smells.
You ever eat any deer liver?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that stuff.
Let's try. We're gonna make it. We'll go ahead and start them. We'll make it a little bit more difficult for them this time. And I don't want to go like too fast and make it impossible. That's the only downside of this. When they get on the back like that, it's.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
want to reward him because he's in the odor, but it's hard to.
We weren't sure how to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. A tough call. Once he's in there, I should be able to push him around quite a bit with him. Once I got his focus on there. Okay, go ahead and come up and pull him all the way out. Just take him back a couple feet. We'll restart again. Okay.
So,
Here's where I'm going to start teaching him to kind of ignore you calling him away. I don't really want. I know in obedience it's important.
but nothing should get him away
Yeah,
from
I want him to be obedient to you every time except for when he's on odor and you're trying to call him off. I want him to be more obedient to odor than anything else, including you.
Okay.
And I may even lure him here and like set him up for failure by holding the food in front of him and just never letting him get it. That's almost not fair, but
It's part of his
Yeah.
learning process.
there again, just that little visual cue.
There.
Standing behind that tube and having the odor of the liver trees coming through the hole is enough for him to convince himself that must be the tube where it's important, but it isn't. Come over here, kid. Look over here. How about two more? We'll just do one more, and that's probably enough for him. I don't want to ask for too much and lose him. But that's the way that we start them off.
Okay.
And then, like I said, after a couple, maybe a week of that game, which wouldn't be every day with us, it would be every other day typically. Then I can, we'll make it progressively harder, and we'll take these things and put them in a big circle all the way around the room, or we'll take, and we'll go from 3 maybe to 6 or 7, and have them scattered everywhere. And then maybe we'll have some other things out, some other distractors out for them to kind of learn to ignore. But you don't want to make it impossible for them early on. And the further you spread them out, that in itself makes it a little bit more difficult. Okay, go ahead and start. Go ahead and call his name.
MacGyver. 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 MacGyver.
He's thinking about it, but he says, you know what? You keep lying to me. The only thing I can trust is my nose. All you other bastards are lying to me.
MacGyver.
Okay, that's it.
Boy. Yeah, buddy.
I'm going to put him up. That's enough for now.